Hey you guys, what is up? I decided that I want to just do my tournament report for this week really quick. I was thinking about doing a compilation of reports, but it seemed like it would be more work and I didn't actually write anything down for today. So my round one opponent was someone whose name I happen to forget and I don't remember most people or a couple of people's names, unfortunately. I want to say it was Chris, maybe, but he was playing Garchomp, Altaria, but he also had Mewtwo teched in. And so that was my round one match. I was able to get Boufflant going in 2 turns, which was really nice. And I take out the Mewtwo, and then basically after that, I'm able to bench him really quickly after I KO his Gible. And so that was a really quick one. He was pretty new getting back into the game, so I think he actually made a few misplays on his part and, recognized those and all that jazz. But a quick game and on to 1-0. So round two, I was paired against, I believe his name was Jacob, and he was playing Zekrom Electric, and I believe I went first this game, or maybe I went second. I went second this game, going first the first game, and essentially I just got rolling. I started pump up smashing. I hit my super scoop ups when I needed them, and I was able to go on to 2-0, so that was really nice. Round three, I'm paired against Mark Oliver, who you should all know because he's done co-narrations on this channel, and he's been in matches on my channel a bunch, and he's playing a deck that Rockman from Hey Trainer kind of, I guess, pioneered or was one of the first people to suggest a really cool deck using Garbodor, he's kind of meta scouting, expecting a lot of Garchomp, Altaria, and some Darkrai Hydreigon and some other eels, I guess, and stuff like that. So wanting to block those abilities, he played it with Registeel and Groudon, and I end up going first after he mulligans twice. I start off with a Terrakion. I play a Cheren as my supporter on the turn, and the 3 cards I hit against his lone Trubbish, or Trubbish, however you want to say that, are Mewtwo, Switch, DCE. Now, I already had a Super Scoop Up in hand and a DCE and an Ultra Ball, so I had a pretty good shot at donking him in the first place, but it was just funny that the 3 cards that I literally needed were right there, just to kind of show him and just that I won. I just literally showed him the 3 cards for my Cheren, and so that was lunch break. We grabbed lunch together. A couple of my other friends did really well. Shoutouts to Josh Smith, Peter Hanneman for having good first tournaments back after a really long break, and Calvin Cochran as well, who I know played in Europe a little bit, but hopefully, and he's one of my friends I haven't really featured on the channel, and unfortunately didn't get on video because I messed up with camera work. It's the only match I missed, but he got third, so that's great playing Excelgor. But shoutouts to them. So went to lunch, kind of chilled out. I find that my round 4 opponent is Logan, who's a pretty good player around the area. I know he got second place at States back a couple years ago. He kind of took last year off, sort of, in terms of playing really seriously, but, still was around. But he's playing Garchomp Altaria. I know he's really good, and I know he wanted to be serious this year. And I end up, starting with Mewtwo, kind of just attaching. Unfortunately, I actually had the DCE, and had I not mulliganed my first turn, I would have donked him. Regardless, I still have a DCE starting against his 2 Swablues. And unfortunately, he goes first, which, happens half the time about. And he sings me, I'm asleep. And then, I get some basic energies on a Mewtwo, and I don't really get to pump up Smash much in the game, or at all. I pretty much use Mewtwo's, and then I guess I use like 1 Boufflant to try and set my prizes at odd, and then, do some stuff like that. But in the end, he beats me by like 3 prizes, just, completely decimating me. However, had it been that I started and just had knocked out 1 Swablu and potentially another, it could have gone a completely different direction. So I didn't feel too bad about that game. I feel like the momentum kind of was just dependent on him getting a turn 2 Garchomp rather than, what I did. And it was a good game, and, props to Logan for that. And I really feel bad that he actually 4-1 bubbled and didn't get any championship points. Obviously, there's no top cuts. So Sour Grapes, he played a great tournament, and I was really kind of sad to see, there be 5. Not that there were 5 4-1s, but just that situation has to occur where someone goes 4-1 and doesn't get those championship points. But anyways, on to round 5. I'm playing Preston. I'm actually paired against him. He is the only 4-0 seed, and I'm a little nervous. However, he's playing Rayquaza Eels, so on paper, I have a really good matchup. I start with a Terrakion, which is great, going first. Or Mewtwo, I'm sorry, going first. And he starts with Zekrom and Zekrom EX on the bench, which kind of surprises me that he benched that. So instantly I catcher it and just put 20 on it a couple of times. I then, while I'm doing these 20s with X-Balls, putting energies on my Terrakion EX, what ends up happening is that I do 2 X-Balls to his Zekrom EX for 20 or for 40 each. and then I see, as I'm attaching to my Terrakion on these turns, and then I see that he's actually attempting to build up a Rayquaza on the bench. I catch or it, do 100 to it, and then he knocks me out with a big, whatever, Dragon Burst, something. Whatever Rayquaza EX's attack is, I actually don't know it, which is kind of silly, but it's not Celestial Roar, it's the other one. But so he knocks my Mewtwo out and goes up 2 prizes. I get a Terrakion just to promote, and I pump up Smash, knock it out, and I take a few more prizes while he kind of just dead drew this whole game, and I feel bad. Props to Preston. It's actually his first tournament in Masters, and he was, going, almost competing for the perfect seed throughout the whole game, or out the whole tournament. It was really impressive just to see, a kid who, had just playing at that level of competition, his first time. He played really well. But what ends up happening is that I basically have burned through most of my catchers, so I just kind of end up taking odd and ends KOs, but I just keep pump up smashing and just keep putting energy on my board. So I end up pulling it out, going 4-1, and there's a 5-way tie for 4-1s, but it turns out that I actually had the highest resistance, or the best resistance, despite my round 1 opponent dropping after round 3 due to having other obligations, and I actually end up pulling this one off, and I actually win my first tournament of the season. This is actually how I started off my last season, but unfortunately I didn't win any events after that. Hopefully this will not be the case this year. I feel like I'm a way better player this year than I was at any point in time last year. I feel like I've just consistently gotten stronger at this game. I stayed relaxed this tournament and just felt really good about the way I played. I made a few misplays, and I ended up, learning from them pretty well. Just everything seemed to go well for me, so props to all of Team Conway, Mark Oliver, Peter Hanneman, Kelvin Cochran, Josh Smith, Ryan Dansel, Gene Ann. Everyone did pretty well, and it was really nice to see everyone having fun. It was great to see everyone, so I hope you enjoyed hearing about my tournament experience. I'm really excited. I'm maybe going to a Battle Roads in Memphis, Tennessee next weekend, but that's kind of questionable. It's if my ride really wants to go, Mark Oliver, and he's a busy guy, so we'll see. If not, I will for sure be at Shorewood, Arkansas Battle Roads on the 22nd of September, so I'm really excited for that. And, the best finish limit's only 6, so I'm not feeling a lot of pressure to be going for these right now. I'm also, still 385 points away from qualifying for Worlds, but those first 15 are the hardest, I hope. So make sure you guys rate, like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I will catch you guys with other tournament reports and battle videos of these tournaments later.